How do you recover from bulimia nervosa? What are the actual steps involved? And once you recover, how do you ensure you stay recovered and don't relapse back into your old destructive habits? My name is Richard Kerr and I'm the founder of the Bulimia Help Method Recovery Program, and in this video I want to share with you a simple outline you can follow for successful lifelong recovery from bulimia nervosa. So keep watching. Okay, so the model we're going to follow today is the Bulimia Help Method Recovery Pyramid. This is a simple diagram that outlines the 3 stages you must pass through for effective lifelong recovery from bulimia nervosa. We start at the bottom of the pyramid, stage 1, and that forms the foundation of recovery, and then we work our way up the pyramid gradually towards full recovery. So let's get into it and let's get started. So let's begin at level 1, rebalancing your body. Most people with bulimia nervosa are actually quite surprised to discover that bulimia is mostly a physical condition rather than a mental condition. The cycle of restricting your food intake, binging and purging keeps your body in a hungry, malnourished state. In this state, your body thinks there's a famine coming on, and the natural survival mechanism kicks in, which triggers your body to want to eat massive quantities of food. This is very natural and very normal, and it's been well documented through history. So the first stage, what we want to do is turn off this natural survival mechanism, this natural drive that compels you to eat lots and lots of food. I know me saying that people with bulimia or malnourished sounds a little crazy considering how much food people with bulimia actually eat, but it is true. When you're hungry, you experience gentle hunger pangs, but when you're malnourished, you experience crazy, powerful hunger pangs and massive urges to binge on food. Your body thinks there's a famine going on, and in order to stop these hunger pangs, we need to teach your body that the famine is over. We do this by gradually introducing regular food that teaches your body to respond to, process, and be satisfied with normal amounts of food. When this happens, the primal hunger disappears, the famine state is over, and the binge urge dramatically reduces. We call it a structured eating plan, and it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your recovery. I know for some people, just by following a structured eating plan can reduce the binge urge by nearly 60, 70, 80%. For my wife, when she followed her structured eating plan, she found massive reductions in her urges to binge on food. It is essential and it forms the foundation to your recovery. For a successful structured eating plan, you need to follow 3 essential components. Number 1, start eating regular food. This usually means 3 meals and 3 snacks daily. Number 2, increase your portion size until you're eating your daily recommended calorie amounts. And number 3, eat a balanced meal. That means protein, carbs and fat in each of your meals and snacks. These are the essential core components of structured eating, and there is a lot more detail to it, but this is the foundation. So once you've got a handle on rebalancing your body, you can then move on to stage 2 of recovery, which is where you diffuse the binge urge. I said at the start that bulimia is mostly a physical condition, but there is a mental component, and that's where this comes into play. Binging on large quantities of food can cause a surge of endorphins to flood through your brain, which can give you a sort of sense of numbness or euphoria. If you've ever experienced a trance-like state when binging on food, or perhaps felt high afterwards, then you know you can point the finger at this endorphin rush. Unfortunately, studies show that any sort of high or benefit is completely cancelled out by the feelings of self-disgust and hatred that comes after a binge purge episode. But the point is, if you've had bulimia for a long time, you may be relying on this endorphin rush to numb out emotions or uncomfortable feelings. In a way, this endorphin rush can become a security blanket for your life. We call these the mind binge urges. The mind binge urge is generally associated with feelings of avoidance, whether it's something tangible such as work obligations or something intangible such as uncomfortable emotions. In general, we binge on food to dull our thought processes and numb ourselves from emotional pain and discomfort. Now the thing is, the mind binge urge wasn't created by hunger, so following a structured eating plan and eating regular food will not resolve it. To overcome the mind binge urge, we have to do 2 things. Well, firstly, recognize the mind binge urge as separate from the body binge urge when it arrives, and number 2, learn new effective strategies to better manage our emotions. Okay, so once you've rebalanced your body and removed the mind binge urges, you've effectively removed any reason why you'd want to binge on food. And if you have no desire to do something, you won't do it. So if you have no desire to binge, you won't binge. And if you're not binging, well, chances are you're not purging. And if you're not binging and purging, well, then you're no longer bulimic. And therefore, you've recovered. But we want to ensure you're recovered for life. And that leads us on to stage 3, intuitive training. Purging. So what do we do now? Well, we can't go back to our old eating habits because that's what caused a lot of the problems in the first place. So in order to fully recover from bulimia for life, we need to learn a new effective way to eat food that's going to maintain our healthy natural weight, but also not involve any calorie counting or food rules or any form of restriction. And that's where intuitive eating comes in. Intuitive eating is where we listen to our inner intuition as to guide us as to what, when and how much we should eat. No more food plans, no more calorie counting and no more restriction. I know this can sound a little scary, but studies show that in general, intuitive eaters have better optimism, have better self-esteem and a lower BMI. Trust me, when you get to this stage, it will feel like freedom. Food will become just food. Now I do want to stress that this is an advanced stage of recovery, so I wouldn't attempt to become an intuitive eater until you've rebalanced your body and you're at least 6 months into recovery. But that's it. This is the final stage of recovery that will set you free. So that's it, the Bulimia Help Recovery Pyramid. It's a simple visual image you can keep in mind to help guide you through your recovery. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Or better yet, head over to bulimiahelp.org and subscribe to the newsletter where I share my in-depth recovery strategy and tools.